And joining us from Portland, Oregon, we have James Faucette, Senior Research Analyst at Pacific Crest Securities. He has a sector perform rating on RIM. Good to have you with us, James. What about these latest numbers coming in above estimates? In fact, I would say way above estimates. So what's with the bearishness on RIM these days?
Well, I think that RIM obviously did a very good job launching new products and are seeing tremendous growth outside the U.S. I think what we in our sector perform and our concerns, as well as much of the market is focused on, though, is looking at the U.S. as a leading indicator in what's happening here. And if you look at what net subscriber additions were in the U.S. sequentially, they dropped between 60 and 80%. And so the concern is that while they're doing well internationally, as the iPhone and Android pick up additional distribution outside the U.S., does the same thing happen to them internationally, as seems to be happening here in the U.S.? That is a good question.
Yeah, James, what about the numbers that RIM came out with? They sold 12 million more of their smartphones, but yet they're losing market share. How does that add up?
Well, it's just that the rest of the market is, I mean, they've had such a dominant position, and so platforms like Android in particular are coming from a low base. So mathematically, they're losing share. If you look where their share losses are most worrisome, it really is concentrated and centralized here in the U.S. Internationally, they're doing fantastic. Probably added close to 4 million subscribers outside the U.S., so doing quite well for sure internationally. As
and James, let me talk to you about let me talk to you about some of the problems that RIM has had internationally. You know, we had a high-profile case with RIM basically divulging the privacy and opening up its messaging system to the Indian government. Do you think that'll be an issue going forward as well? We also had some concerns in Dubai.
Yeah, I think that's more headline than anything. You see impact a little bit for short periods of time from those kinds of headlines, but I think ultimately, I don't envision that being a long-term issue for RIM or anybody else.
Okay, so James, you have a sector perform rating on RIM. In fact, you said that this could be a value trap for the stock. What does that mean?
Well, I think that when you look at it, and as was highlighted in the piece before, that the stock looks to be trading quite inexpensively. However, when we've seen this before with companies like Nokia and Motorola, our concern is that if you lose share at the high end, that your ASPs and margins and ultimately your earnings just continue to spiral downward. And it seems like we may be getting in closer to that situation, with at least here in the U.S. for RIM. So the question will be, can they offset that enough internationally to continue to grow earnings? And frankly, we're skeptical that that will be the case.
Okay, James, nice talking to you. Thank you for those insights. James Faucette of Pacific Crest Securities.